Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Dave Maslach talking about reciprocity.com. The E is spelled with a 3. It is a platform where I believe everybody should be able to get feedback on their writing, because if you're like me, I created this platform because I was really anxious and nervous about getting feedback on my writing. So I thought I'd create a platform where it was really easy to get that, because I, just like you, would like to become a more prolific writer and to write much better, to write very, very well. So in this particular video, I really wanted to talk to you about which now is a 130-day challenge. So I've been putting out for 130 days now videos, YouTube videos, to see if it's going to make any difference on traffic to my website. And I'm going to show you the results of putting out these videos at this point. So it's 130 days in now. And I was inspired by another fellow, Miles Beckler, that actually put out videos like that, did the same thing, and he got a lot of traction at doing this. So I thought maybe I can do it, because I initially started putting out videos and trying to actually pay for, I initially started paying for advertisements, but it was really expensive and I couldn't afford it. So I thought this would be a better way to do it, is put out helpful videos that anybody could look at and hopefully get some sort of traction that way. So I wanted to show you what the results are at 130 days in at this moment. You could see, so this is my watch time. So I started actually a little bit further back. So this is 90 days right here. So I was already 30 days in, or starting way back here. You could see that my watch time has not changed very much. What did happen, though, I actually was paying up until September. So this is September 3rd right here. I was paying about $5 to $7 a day to advertise a video. And I quit doing that, and you could see it actually didn't make a difference on my watch time when I quit that. A little bit, right? There was a little bit of an increase right here. A couple of videos sometimes would get a lot more traction, but once I stopped doing that, it didn't make a difference. So I actually probably was wasting money at that moment. So doing these YouTube videos without video advertising is probably a better option at this moment. It looks like YouTube is doing a very good job of advertising that. So I have 159 at this moment, 159 subscribers, which I appreciate everybody who has subscribed at this moment. It's really cool to see that they are interested in making this grow. And if you look at here, I can actually change this to do a 90-day comparison, and you'll be able to see further back. Let me see up here. You can see further back. I'm going to go comparison, and I'm going to go the previous period. And you could see, so the last 90 days, I have been getting more views from the last 90 days compared to the previous 90 days. So that is, I don't know, that's roughly about half as much sort of watch time as I was getting in the previous 90 days. I'm getting about so about 50% more watch time in this 90 days compared to the previous 90 days. But you can see here the views are completely different. And that's because I was paying for them throughout this period. You could see at this moment, right, you could see that they're kind of overlapping pretty a lot. They are overlapping, so it didn't make a lot of difference to do the advertising at this moment. And yeah, it definitely has not made much of a difference here. So I'm going to go to the next one here. I want to show you the retention. So this is when I stopped paying right here. It was September 9th. I stopped paying for advertising a video. And once I stopped paying for it, you can see my retention numbers increased. That's because there's less viewers watching the videos, less views. And you can see that I'm roughly getting every so a viewer that comes on to watch my videos will watch 4 of them, which is really cool and wonderful, to be honest, which is really wonderful. And I was going to move here, and you can see, actually, so this is my journey from the past year. So I started putting out YouTube videos kind of on a little irregular basis and advertising a few of them early on right here. I was actually paying for AdWords ads here. You can see that's why there was this spike. And then I actually just did a boost, which was a complete waste of money here for a couple of videos. And that was a complete waste of money because they got no traction. They just got a bunch of views, but they were not targeted in any sort of way. And then I stopped right here doing video ads, and I started again with a more targeted approach. You can see it did increase a little bit here, and then I started the YouTube marketing challenge right here. It's about just before July. And then I continued on progressing at this point, and I've been putting out a video every single day. I stopped actually advertising right here altogether because I noticed I wasn't making much of a difference. You can see it didn't really make that much of a difference. It still continued on. You can see that the trend is generally upward, and we can change that to a 7-day rolling average to see a better view. You can see it's generally trending upward. Not a lot of views at this moment still, or not a lot of watch time, but it is increasing as it continues on, as I continue on in a nice progression at this point. So I'm going to exit that. I wanted to show you my website right now, the traffic on my website, to see if it made much of a difference. This is the traffic since June. You can see that the traffic actually, this is where I was paying for video views at this moment using Google advertising or video advertising. You can see the traffic was pretty good, and then I stopped paying for it right about here. You can see it actually dropped pretty dramatically at that moment. I was not paying for views at that moment. You can see it continued on a little bit, but then it continued to drop as it sort of progresses here, the number of sessions that I'm getting. You can see it on the amount of pages per session. This is kind of interesting because you can see it actually jump up. This is when I stopped paying. You can see pages per session actually increased pretty dramatically at that moment because I was getting people that were interested in the website, not people that were just kind of doing sort of the looky-loo, right? Then going along here. I wanted to also show you the organic search traffic because this is pretty relevant. So this is from 2016. It's the reason why I'm doing these YouTube videos, is to increase the organic search traffic. You can see when I was paying for AdWords, you can see that actually increased quite dramatically, because I think what people were seeing is they were watching the ad, they saw the ad on AdWords, and then they'd go search for the website. But then you can see here, this is when I stopped paying altogether. It was around September. You can see it actually dropped off quite dramatically, and you're not getting nearly as much, or I'm not getting nearly as much views or organic searches because people are they don't know the website's there, and you can see it's dwindling at this moment. So it's kind of interesting to see that. Maybe it's going to pick up later on. I don't know. I'm just curious to see. You can look at the YouTube traffic here if I went to direct sources instead. And you could see direct sources. So this is my YouTube traffic. More or less just YouTube traffic, right? And I went to, so for example, right here, if you look here, see, you can see these are my YouTube channel. You can see that this is where I was paying again for the AdWords. And you can see that there is a little bit of traffic coming from YouTube, directly from YouTube, but it's just kind of dwindling at this moment. So I was curious to see. And who knows, maybe this is not going to continue on growing. Maybe it's going to die. Maybe it's going to grow. I don't know at this moment. So just curious to see it at this moment. So that's all I wanted to say. And really what this is a lesson in, and let me go back to the audience so you can see. And what this is just a lesson in persistence, because who knows whether this is actually going to continue to grow or not. And there are moments where it actually decreases over time, and you got to keep pushing through these things and keep putting out these things. I'm going to continue on with the YouTube challenge, the YouTube video marketing challenge. It's kind of fun. I actually like it at this moment because I'm learning more about myself than I am learning or putting up videos. It's less about sort of doing these videos, but more about, it's kind of like a private diary or semi-private diary where I can put up stuff and talk about things that I find interesting. And if people like them, that's great. But at the same time, it's sort of helping me out, and I encourage other people to do it. It's a really fun exercise to put out these YouTube videos. So that's all I wanted to say. If you like this video, I'm going to continue pushing these things out and putting out more notices. Maybe another 30 more days I'll put them out. But thank you so much. Have a good day and take care. Bye.